We've all been there, right? You get that brilliant idea, that game-changing concept, that super ambitious goal. But then comes the hard part. How do you actually take it from just a flash of inspiration and turn it into a finished reality? Well, today we're going to break down the discipline that does exactly that.
So let's just get right into it with a question that, honestly, we've probably all asked ourselves. Why is it that so many great ideas, so many promising projects just fizzle out and fail? I mean, the signs are painfully familiar, aren't they? A project kicks off with all this incredible energy, but pretty soon it starts to spiral. You know the drill. It goes way over budget, deadlines get missed, then missed again. And in the end, that thing you were building, well, it just doesn't deliver on that amazing promise it started with. But what if there was a way to cut through all that chaos? Well, there is. It's a proven discipline, a real structure for turning that big vision into something you can actually see and touch. It's called project management. So let's dig into how it actually works. All right, first things first. Every single successful project, I don't care if it's building a new app or just planning a wedding, it all starts with a rock-solid foundation. And that foundation, it's all about defining the right goal from the get-go. So what even is a project, really? I mean, the official definition says it's a temporary endeavor to create something unique. Temporary just means it has a start and an end. And unique means you're making something that hasn't been done exactly like this before. So think about it. That community festival you went to last summer, that's a project. The new app you just downloaded on your phone, yep, a project. Even a big effort to modernize a local factory. All of these are projects. Now here's the thing. No project just happens in a vacuum, right? It needs a sponsor or a customer. This is the person or the group who's putting up the money and giving the official green light. They are absolutely crucial because at the end of the day, they're the ones who get to say what success actually looks like. And how do you make sure that sponsor is happy? Well, it all comes down to the most critical piece of the puzzle right at the start, the objective. And listen, this isn't some vague, fuzzy idea. It's a super clear, measurable statement that everyone agrees on before any work starts. It nails down the big three: the scope, what exactly are we building, the schedule, when does it need to be done, and the budget, how much can we spend. Seriously, getting this part right, it's everything. Okay, so you've got your clear objective locked in. Now we get to shift gears from the what to the how. This is the planning phase, and you can think of it as your blueprint for success. It's your map to navigate through all the potential chaos. And to make this really concrete, let me ask you something. Have you ever been to a big community festival and just wondered how on earth does all this come together? It almost feels like magic, doesn't it? You've got promotion, games, entertainment, security, all these different pieces somehow just working perfectly on the day. Well, surprise, surprise, it's not magic, it's structure. The secret to tackling any complex project, whether it's that festival or building a skyscraper, is to take that huge, intimidating goal and just break it down. You chop it up into smaller, much more manageable pieces. This whole process creates something called a work breakdown structure, or as you'll hear it called, a WBS. And this is a perfect example of what that looks like. See how the festival is the big goal up top? But look, it's broken down into these major chunks: promotion, games, entertainment, and services. And it doesn't stop there. Each of those gets broken down even more. So promotion becomes newspaper ads and posters. Games becomes booths and prizes. What you're doing is taking one giant idea and turning it into a practical to-do list that people can actually go out and do. And once you have that breakdown, everything else just kind of falls into place, logically. You see how it's like a chain reaction? First, you define the actual activities for each little piece. Then you figure out the right order to do them in. After that, you can estimate how much time and what resources you'll need. That leads you to estimating the costs. And when you put it all together, boom, you've got your final schedule. It's such a powerful, repeatable system. Okay, but a brilliant plan on paper is, well, it's just paper, right? It's just a document until you bring in the single most important part of any project: the people. They're the engine that actually brings that whole blueprint to life. And I love this quote from our source material. It just says it all. People do not become project managers by reading books. They become project managers by first being effective project team members. In other words, this isn't just about charts and spreadsheets. It is a total team sport. A project's success really truly depends on the skills and the teamwork of everyone involved. But let's pause for a second and be a little skeptical. All this talk about process, structure, teams, does this stuff really work out in the real world? I mean, does it actually make a difference to the bottom line?
The answer? A huge, resounding yes. Get this. A 5-year study from the Australian Bureau of Statistics looked into what actually boosts productivity in businesses, and they found that a specific set of skills, including project management, was tied to a staggering 69.4% increase in production. That's not a small number.
And if you think that's wild, the study's conclusion was even bolder. After crunching all the numbers, the researchers basically said, if you want to improve productivity, maybe you should hire fewer people with an MBA and more people with a degree or real-world experience in product management. I mean, wow, that's how big of an impact we're talking about. So you did it. Your plan was great, your team was amazing, you hit your objective. Time to pack up and go home, right? Well, not so fast. If you really want to get the most value out of it, you have to focus on finishing strong and, this is key, capturing all the lessons you learned along the way.
A great project shouldn't just fade away with a final email. It needs a proper, formal closing. This is where you tie up all the loose ends, get that official sign-off from your sponsor, and, most importantly, you sit down and review what went right, what went wrong, and what you can do better next time. Think about it. If you skip this step, every new project is like starting from zero. But by capturing these lessons, you're not just finishing this project, you're making every single future project that much smarter from day one.
So let's boil all this down into a simple toolkit that you can actually use. Here it is. Number 1, start with a crystal clear objective that everyone agrees on. 2, break down all the work into a detailed plan. 3, empower your team to get it done. And 4, don't forget to formally close out the project to celebrate what you've done and learn from it. That's the core of it. This framework, this whole approach, it's a proven path from a simple idea to an actual reality. It's how you turn ambition into real achievement. So really, the only question left is the one for you. What project are you going to bring to life?